Arturo Ávila, spokesperson for Morena, had an awkward moment during a live debate. The deputy made several statements that were refuted by his opponents, who took advantage of the slip to expose the Morena members' ignorance in front of the audience. In this video, I'll tell you how the debate unfolded and what mistakes Arturo Ávila made. At Azucena Oresti's debate panel on Radio Formula, the PAN member Federico Doring and the MC member Gibran Ramirez faced off against Morena's spokesperson, Arturo Ávila. The debate focused on the leaked audios attributed to Governor Morena del Pilar, in which alleged meetings with U.S. authorities or intermediaries are discussed to share sensitive information related to the Mexican government. So, when questioned about this scandal, Morena's spokesperson avoided answering the issue directly and diverted attention toward the PAN governments. During his speech, he stated that former President Vicente Fox was responsible for allowing Joaquin Guzman's escape from the Puente Grande maximum security federal prison in 2001. He claimed that the escape was possible thanks to an alleged bribe of $3 million. He also claimed the operation was coordinated by Genaro Garcia Luna, then head of the Federal Investigation Agency, implying that this agency had operational control over the security and custody of federal prisons.
It documents that there was a bribe, let me finish, that there was a bribe of $3 million. So that, well, he could walk out the front door. This was El Chapo Guzman, whose escape was orchestrated by Garcia Luna.
In response, the PAN member Federico Doring said that Arturo was just trying to divert attention from the Morena del Pilar case, called him ridiculous, and described his statements as a display of astronomical ignorance for several reasons. First of all, he pointed out that the Federal Investigation Agency was never in charge of the prisons. It should be remembered that the AFI was an agency attached to the then Attorney General's office, whose functions focused on investigation and investigative police work, so the administration and custody of the penitentiary centers did not depend on that institution. In addition, the legislators stated that the responsibility fell on the Public Security Secretariat. And she recalled that during Vicente Fox's administration, when Guzman escaped, the head of that department was Alejandro Gertz Manero, the same person that Morena brought back years later to first appoint him as Attorney General of the Republic, and then, in 2026, as Mexico's ambassador to the United Kingdom.
The ridiculous act that Arturo is putting on is nothing more than a crude smokescreen to distract us from the issue with Morena. Well, if he's being ridiculous, someone should put him in his place.
The Secretary of Public Security in Fox's administration is named Alejandro Gertz Manero. He made him Attorney General. He made him Ambassador to the United Kingdom. The one who was in charge of the prisons was Gertz Manero. The AFI didn't run the prisons.
Later on, Ávila continued with her defense and stated that in one of the books by journalist Nabel Hernandez, supposedly, it is concluded that the mastermind behind the Sinaloa criminal group and the one responsible for its growth and financing was former President Vicente Fox. Therefore, she argued that the only narco government was the National Action Party government.
Don Ávila Hernandez concludes that the mastermind behind the Sinaloa cartel is Vicente Fox. The big narco government is that of the National Action Party.
In response to these statements, Doring again rejected Ávila's argument, pointing out that if Zambada was the leader of the Sinaloa criminal group for almost 50 years, it makes no sense to claim that everything started during Vicente Fox's administration. Gibran Ramirez also joined in that criticism, calling the attempt to portray Fox as the mastermind behind that criminal group crazy and a distraction. He even stated that we should study a bit of history when arguing that there is a historical responsibility of the state regarding organized crime, which could go back to the time of Lázaro Cárdenas and extend as far as the Guadalajara cartel. At that moment, the moderator Azucena Oresti intervened to point out that the major kingpins of that time, like Gallardo and Palma, were arrested by the very institutions of the Mexican state. Arturo Ávila interrupted her to insist that it was thanks to Morena. However, the members of the panel mocked that statement and reminded him that at that time, Morena didn't even exist as a political party, and the vast majority of those major drug lords were arrested in Mexico.
And sent by our government. No, because they kept them here with legal protection. They operated from Mexico. Right. They operated from Mexico, right?
Notice how he now says, our government, even though the party didn't exist back then, yet they're taking credit.
Those ones. What do you think? Who do you think presented the strongest arguments during this debate? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications. Thank you.